Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. By the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. And by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
Well, how much fun was that at Carver Hawkeye Arena yesterday as Iowa defeats Nebraska in front of a great crowd of 8,473. Another great crowd here at Bumps tonight as the Hawkeyes prevail 93-83. Not easy to beat the same team within a week as Iowa defeated Nebraska at Lincoln last Sunday. Similar score, different game. 95-86, and sandwiched in between that, an outstanding victory against a good Purdue team last Thursday night at West Lafayette. Iowa 79, Purdue 66, so basically 3-0. In a little bit over a week, Coach, it was a good week for you and the Hawks.
It was a good week, and anytime you go on the road again, it's just like so special when you can come home with that win. And, winning at Purdue, I think we've won 5 in a row now over Purdue, and that's obviously a good thing. When I came into this league, Purdue was in the top 5 in the country, and so it's kind of
national champs, in '99?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. So new coach this year and a former Miss Indiana basketball, Katie Gerald. She's doing a really good job, and I think we'll do a really good job with that team. But we were able to come out of there with a good victory, even though we didn't make a single three-point shot in that game, which is hard to believe.
Especially, you go back to that Nebraska game at Lincoln when on fire, especially McKenna Warnock, 11 of 19 threes. But you always hear people talk about, hey, the ability to win different ways. You bring something different every game because it's not going to go perfect
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, kind of a sign of a good improving team.
I mean, I think so. Like, we shot really well from two-point range. We shot 68% from two-point range, and we got to the free throw line a lot, and we made them count. Our free throw numbers this week were pretty amazing. At Purdue, 27 out of 30. That's 90%. And then yesterday against Nebraska, 31 out of 34. That's 91%. So that's a pretty amazing free throw numbers. And somebody told me, our SID told me today, that our free throw percentage right now is the highest in the NCAA women, NCAA men, NBA, and WNBA. So not bad. I said to the team, we're basically the best free throw shooting team in the world right now. So we'll take it. I hope I didn't jinx them.
Well, I hope not. I don't think so. Not with this. It's been solid all year. But this isn't 9 of 10 either. You're shooting 25 to 30 free throws in some contests. And that's the difference in some of those games.
Well, I'm telling you, Caitlin Clark is so good at drawing fouls. She drew 22 fouls between the two games. And that just gets her to the free throw line, where she is just automatic at the free throw line. At Purdue, she was 14 for 16. And against Nebraska, she was a perfect 12 for 12. So I would take her to the free throw line anytime. And it's, the ability to, her three's not falling for her, so she's finding other ways to score. She's trying to get to the rim, draw that contact, and get to the free throw line. So she had two traditional or old-fashioned three-point plays yesterday, and so did Monica. We always kind of reward the old-fashioned three-point play, and then also charges, and Gabby Marshall took a great charge in the game yesterday as well. But yeah, shot very well at Purdue from the free throw line, and we got there quite a bit, and shot very well from two-point range. And Monica Sonano, she really had a week. 12 for 14 shooting at Purdue. That's 86%. 12 for 14. And then she turns around yesterday and goes 11 for 17, 65%. So on the week, she was 23 out of 31 attempts. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, 27 points against Purdue. And then, of course, yesterday had 31. That's a season high. Remember, she had 38 against Purdue back in the Big Ten tournament in March. That's her career high. And you got to have some pretty special performances for that not to be the Big Ten Player of the Week.
Exactly. Well, Caitlin Clark was a co-Big Ten Player of the Week again this week. And, when you get things special like that triple-double, they're so hard to get. And that was her fourth one in her career. And
third this year.
And so that's a pretty remarkable statistics. But she was co-Big Ten Player of the Week with J.C. Sheldon, who is the guard from Ohio State that is a very, very good scoring guard.
Yeah, I think she averaged over 30 points a game this week. And you look at Caitlin, you talk about her going to the basket, and she goes hard and
she does.
Finishes well around the rim. I kind of kid that she's going to wear out that padding on the suspension there. I'm glad it's there.
I'm glad it's there too, but we really talked to her about trying to stay on your feet. Yep. I'm always afraid that you're going to get hurt, break a wrist or a finger or something, like with the hard fall. So it's like, just try to stay on your feet, and then you're better in transition defense afterwards and those type of things. So we've had other players that have been like that, and Kathleen Doyle was like that to begin with, and then she understood how she had to learn how to stay on her feet. Crystal Smith, a long time ago, great player for us. She would do that. So they learn. After a while, maybe as you get older, your body starts not liking those falls quite as much as they used to.
Well, she only has one speed, though, right?
Well, that's
going to take it hard.
That's true.
Certainly a pretty good characteristic to have. But Player of the Week in the Big Ten, 27.5 points she averaged, 9.5 assists, and 9 rebounds. So just about averaged a triple-double, and glad she got that rebound late yesterday to secure that triple-double, because you get that close, you want to be able to get it.
I had no idea that she was that close. Usually somebody tells you kind of like what's going on, but I had no idea yesterday.
Because you were kind of switching offense-defense at the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, it worked out for her, and I'm really glad it did.
No doubt about it, and it worked out well for the Hawkeyes. And to take a look at these two games, and the impressive thing, Lisa, at Purdue especially, was the defense. Purdue shot just 36.5%, 6 of 23 from three-point range, and we've talked about the improvement, but I think you really see it, on the road when the threes aren't falling. Maybe the offense isn't rolling along as well as it did the previous Sunday. Boy, that defense was there, and also the rebounding too. You out-rebounded Purdue 34-32, and that was a good sign. Just like it was yesterday, the rebounding I thought was much better.
Yeah, much better. It couldn't get much worse. After the first time we played Nebraska, we gave up 23 O-boards. And so
that wasn't going to happen again.
That was not going to happen again. And I was happy that we held them to 8 offensive rebounds. And that was 21% of the opportunities. And so we actually out-rebounded them by 5, and we got 23% of offensive opportunities on the glass. And so that was a good thing, because that was not a good performance with us. And it's nice to see the players make that shift and know that they had to be better at that, and they did it.
Yeah, and that's not an easy thing to do when you're playing 2 or 3 games a week. You got quick preps and hard to make those adjustments, but they've got to buy into it, and they certainly have, because the improvement showed.
Yeah, it's hard to work on your own game this time of year. It really is, because you're trying to prep for the next team. You're watching film for the next team. You're going through your paper scout for the next team, and you're spending time going through their plays and trying to figure out ways to stop their plays. And so individual skill work like closeouts and box outs have to happen within that when you're working on the play. It can't be just a concerted effort on that one element like it can be in June, July, August, October, and those months when you can really just work on your own skill development. Now it has to kind of happen within as you prepare for the next opponent, which is not as much. And sometimes it's just a mental thing, like focusing really, really hard on we got to box out. And I think the players did it. It was definitely one of our top keys going into this game. And
McKenna Warnock's done such a terrific job on the boards, and you knew that she was going to be a focal point of the opposition's scouting report with that performance, especially the shooting performance at Nebraska last Sunday. But still, didn't score a whole lot, didn't get a lot of great opportunities, but boy, still worked the boards, had 11 of them at Purdue, and then came back with 8 and 8, and had some big-time rebounds down the stretch, and also some big hoops, too, because you needed those in the fourth quarter. Yeah, that 3 she hit was huge, and she also had 3 steals against Nebraska. But McKenna, this is what I really admire about McKenna, is that she is working so hard defensively, and she is working so hard on the glass. And okay, you go from Purdue, where she's chasing around one of the best three-point shooters in Cassidy Harden because they run a 4-guard lineup, and then you go to a game like Nebraska, and now she's guarding post-up type players. And that's what that power forward has to do. They have to be versatile enough to be able to, handle those different positions, because you never know, what kind of what you're going to see out of that power forward. Some of them have limited shooting range and they're more post-up players, and then there's others like Purdue ran, where they're all guards, and she has to make the change in her defensive effort, and she does it without any problem at all. And what was Cassidy Harden in that game? 1 for 9, and 1 for 8 from three-point range. Right. That's huge. And that was who McKenna was guarding that game. And Cassidy Harden is a very, very good long-distance shooter, and she was running all over the floor, and McKenna was right there with her. So really, really proud of McKenna's effort. And how about Gabby Marshall's defense, too, on the perimeter? Gabby Marshall has to play more ball screens than anybody in the country, I think. I mean, everybody's running ball screen offense now, and she's usually in the point guard, the person that's receiving all those ball screens, and she just, we're doing a much better job in our ball screen defense this year than we did in the past, and part of it is that Gabby's just playing that much better on it. And those are things that people don't notice as much. Kate Martin yesterday was in help position so many times that she created steals and she created turnovers just by her being in good help side position and really, seeing the ball and anticipating that. So those guys are working their tail off. I know we always talk about Monica and Caitlin a lot, but those 3 guys are really, really working hard. And you talk about Kate Martin. Coach Harmon on the postgame show yesterday talked about a conversation that she had with Kate about, hey, you got a really quick first step. Drive more. Yeah. Get to the baseline, which she's been able to do. And she's really getting the ball to the basket, finishing on the block.
Well, she had her first three-point play ever against Purdue the other day. And so that was exciting to be able to tell her that, she got her first three-point the old-fashioned way. Kate is so strong, and she is she does have that burst of speed, that first step, like Coach Harmon said, and not only on the bounce, but just off a give-and-go cut. Like we run a play where we, pass across, and she just cuts to the basket, and she's open so many times just because she cuts so hard to the basket, and she's such a good big target, for us to hit her. So it's fun to see these, players start realizing different ways they can contribute offensively to the team.
Not a great start yesterday.
No.
Down 30 to 14.
Boy.
You called a timeout. They got things kind of settled in, but there didn't seem to be a lot of panic. I figured you could inch back into it, and it really didn't take very long.
There wasn't a lot of panic. We really talked about, hey, our defense has got to get better. They hit some threes that were kind of uncharacteristic of them, and sometimes you got to go with statistical numbers when you're guarding people. Like, Markowski, number 40, their center, was 6 for 7 from three-point range yesterday. Well, in all of the previous games that Nebraska had played, she'd made 4. Mm-hmm. She'd made 4 on the year, and she makes 6 yesterday. So, sometimes, again, you have to adjust your game plan as things are going on. And she had 4 in the first quarter, and then she ended up with 2 more for the next 3 quarters. So I think that Monica adjusted really well to that. But, 30 to 14, you're down. Not real happy because it's your home court, and it's kind of like it was a reverse of what happened over at Nebraska. We went in there and shot lights out there, and then they come to our place and shoot lights out at our place. But luckily, we get the W at both places. And, the second quarter, we just got to the free throw line so many times. We were in the bonus with just under 6 minutes to go, and when you're in the bonus that early, you got to use it. And you have to look for opportunities to draw fouls, whether it's getting the ball inside or driving or hitting cutters, cutting hard and getting held. I mean, you have to look for opportunities to draw fouls when you're in the bonus that early. And I thought the team really did a good job with that.
And it seemed like part of Nebraska's game plan was getting physical out on the perimeter, getting hands on guards, and then trying to displace Monica. And it was called early. And you talked about the free throw shooting, 34 free throws versus Nebraska, just 8. Well, that had a lot to do with the different style of play. They shot a lot of threes and fouled at the offensive end for you. Yeah,
they shot 30 for threes and made 14 of them. We only shot 11 and made 4 of them. So that was really a big difference in the game is the free throw line. We got them in a lot of foul trouble, especially in that second quarter. We always tell the team who has 2 fouls at halftime, and there was like 5 of their players that had 2 fouls at halftime because you obviously want to identify those players and take it at them in that third quarter and try to get them back on the bench. I'll say the easiest way to guard a great player is to put him on the bench.
Not see him, right?
Yeah, put him on the bench. Draw those fouls. And so obviously that's what we're really, trying to do is ISO certain people and try to really take it inside because Monica, draws so many fouls inside as well. And so I was really happy with the team's effort on that.
And Nebraska, good basketball team.
They're a good basketball team, and they're going to win a lot of games in the Big Ten.
Well, we're off and running here from Bumps at Finkbein Golf Course with Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. If you would like to jump in on the conversation, we welcome your phone calls. 1-877-464-2957. 1-877-GO Hawks. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, has been voted best of the area for the 9th consecutive year. Proudly supports Iowa women's basketball. Visit Dodge Street Tire for all of your automotive needs, including the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating 29 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. We'll have more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall. And it'll continue after this on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Welcome back to Bumps at Finkbine Golf Course for Hawk Talk on a Monday night as the Iowa Hawkeyes back in the top 25 where they belong, and certainly the net ranking improved this week, +5, now inside the top 30 at 28. So that keeps climbing, and that's what 3 wins in a week will do for you, Coach. And the ranking's nice to look at this time of year. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but the net ranking certainly has significance as time rolls along.
Yeah, it really does, because that's what one of the main tools that the selection committee uses in seeding the NCAA tournament, which this year has expanded to 68 teams, and I'm really, really excited about that because, as you know, last year we've always been at 64 teams, and the men have always been at 68 teams, and that was kind of one of the inequities that came up when the NCAA tournament last year. Like, why? And we've been asking this for years. Why do the men get to have 4 more teams in than the women, when so much is really based on the NCAA tournament as far as giving the kids an opportunity to play into postseason play, and also, there's for a lot of coaches, their jobs can depend on whether they make the NCAA tournament or not. So we're really glad that 4 additional teams will be in the NCAA tournament this year. So right now our net ranking is 28. It's kind of interesting, though. I was looking at Nebraska's still number 12.
I know.
Isn't that interesting? They've lost 3 in a row, and they're still ranked 12th in the net. So the net is a little bit confusing to me. I understood the RPI a whole lot better than I understand the net. And I know it's constantly moving target, and people have said to me, just go out and win and don't even worry about it.
That solves a lot, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Are they going to have the first 4 then for the 4 teams that are not in the 64 like they do for the men?
Yeah,
so
they're going to do the same thing. I don't know the location. I don't know if it's going to be on home courts. I think the men all go to Dayton.
Yeah.
Dayton is where they have it every year. And it'd be nice if somebody would kind of adopt that for the women and want to have that on their home campus. But I think what it might be this year is home sites.
So it'll be before the actual 64 starts, so they'll get slotted. The winners will get slotted into the 64.
Yeah. And the teams that will benefit from that are really kind of like, the Big Ten teams. I really think the Power 5 teams, because, when you have 32 conferences, there's 32 automatics. And so then you have the next 32 in the country, and now it'll be the next 36 in the country, which I think will benefit. I think it'll benefit the Power 5s.
And on the men's side of that equation, it's not the final 4 teams that actually get into the tournament necessarily.
No.
So there's some higher-seeded teams, and there's been teams that have got to the Sweet 16 out of there.
Wow.
So it can be dangerous.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah,
it is. And it shows you just how deep the field can be.
Yeah.
Well, let's head to the phones and bring in Anthony from Des Moines. Anthony, how are you this evening?
Well, pretty good, guys. I just want to congratulate you on a sweep against Nebraska and Purdue. And you know what? What a good weekend for Hawkeye Nation. Not only the women's basketball team won, the men's basketball team won, and our wrestling team won. What is it? All on the same day. When's the last time we ever seen that ever happen? Coach, I do have a question for you. With the Purdue win last week, who is the toughest player that? Yeah, who's the toughest player that you ever had to guard against in your recent years, all your years at coach at Iowa? And Rob, you mentioned that Iowa came back with 30 points down. When's the last time Iowa has ever done that throughout in Iowa basketball history? And I'll hang up and listen and go Hawks.
Thanks,
Anthony. I was asking some tough questions.
Yeah,
really
I
test
might
my
have had
memory.
30 and 14 was the first quarter, down 16, but they've given up 30 points in the first quarter. So I don't think you've ever been down by 30, have you?
No. Not that I can remember. But
no, and we don't want to remember
I'd probably
it anyway.
Forget it real fast if I did. So I'm trying to think of some tough players that we've went against, and I really think, Kelsey Mitchell from Ohio State, great player. Jantel Lavender, also from Ohio State, a post player. So different positions. Kelsey Mitchell was a point guard, and Jantel was a center. But there has been a lot of really great players in the Big Ten over the years, and I coached a lot of times against Jackie Stiles, and nation's leading scorer. I don't know if she still is, but she was for a long, long time from Missouri State, Southwest Missouri State. When I was at Drake and Iowa, we played against Jackie Stiles, and she took them to the Final Four, and she was an amazing, amazing scorer. So those are the ones that come up to the top of my mind, but yeah, a lot of great players over the years.
The nice thing is you've had a lot of those players for other teams to say, we're getting kind of tired of the Megan Gustafsons and the Kathleen Doyles and the Caitlin Clarks.
Absolutely. And Sam Logics, and you could go on and on about some of the great players that we've had. Lindsay Meter, and very good.
Let's go to North Liberty as Karin is checking in. How are you this evening?
I'm fine.
Good.
Congratulations again to Caitlin for Player of the Week. And yesterday was a trifecta on Big Ten Network, so if you weren't an Iowa Hawkeye, you better go turn to some other channel. But anyway, we won all 3, but I was a little bit hesitant of the women with the way they started out. I was there and getting very, very nervous, and I was really pleased to see how aggressive we can get when we need to be. I couldn't believe how easy some of Nebraska's baskets went in and how hard it was for us to get a basket in there. Now, I have several questions. Is this a ritual with some of the girls to touch the back of their shoes before each free throw? And, Lisa, you use your playground voice during the whole game. Do you ever have any problems with lack of voice after these games? And finally, what happened to Logan's foot, and is she out the rest of the year? And good luck and stay healthy.
Well, thanks, Karin. That game yesterday, Nebraska in the first quarter shot 6 for 9 from three-point range. 67% from three-point range, where we were 0 for 4 from three-point range. Really what kept us in that game was free throws. We were 6 for 7 from the free throw line, and they didn't get any. We took a lot of hard twos. I mean, we weren't getting to the rim. We weren't really feeding Monica in that first quarter. We were taking hard twos, and when you take hard twos, your field goal percentage goes down. So luckily, we got that changed in the second quarter. We shot 54% from two-point range, and so we did a much, much better job in the second quarter and then started just chipping away at it. I have never noticed, Karin, our players touching the back of their shoes before a free throw. So not something I noticed. Have you ever noticed it?
Yeah, and players do it, and typically I always thought you got a little moisture on your hands.
Yeah,
and
wipe
it kind
your
of dries
hands.
them off.
Okay, yeah. I don't know anything about that, so
you just watch them go in, right?
I know it's going in, so I just kind of take a little breather at that point. But no, I'm kind of going to ask them in practice. My voice, it does change during the year, and sometimes the team will start making fun of me because I'll start saying something in practice, and all of a sudden it'll go up 5 octaves, and I'll be, or is that even possible? I don't know anything about music, so
sounds good.
Yeah, but a little squeak will come out, and so yeah, it's not probably good for the voice. In this profession. But Logan's foot, she will be back this year. With HIPAA rules, I'm not really allowed to say what's wrong with her, but she will be back. I'll tell you that by the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's certainly good news. But the bench has had some really good moments. So you go back to the Nebraska game last Sunday, and then also at Purdue. Likes of A.J. Ettinger comes in, plays 2 minutes and 24 seconds, but gets a rebound and keeps some balls alive and getting some time here this week.
Yeah, and Kylie Fierbach has been playing a lot for us as well. Tomi Taiwo is another person. Addison O'Grady. Those 4 have kind of really been coming off the bench and giving us some time. And Addison, I thought, had a better game yesterday than she did against Purdue, so that was nice to see her getting involved. She was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had 3 rebounds in her 6.5 minutes of play. Kylie Fierbach, she's playing multiple positions for us. She's playing the backup point guard, the backup off guard, the backup small forward. So she's doing a lot for us, but she also yesterday was 1 for 2 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had a rebound for us, and really provides a good defensive spark. Like yesterday, we were trading offense for defense on substitutions and getting Caitlin out and putting Kylie in because Kylie is a very active defensive player, and she penetrates really, really well to the hoop and draws fouls too. So very thankful to have that transfer.
And Kate Martin at the point. She's been playing there some.
And we've been working with Kylie a little bit at that position too. Kate was kind of our backup point guard at the beginning of the year, and then when people started getting hurt, we needed her to back up the 4 as well. We said we can't have her backing up starting at the 3 and backing up the point guard and the power forward. So that's when we started using Kylie in that position as well. And it's pretty fortunate because we run an offense that really doesn't need a true point guard. I mean, everybody does the same thing, and so it's not like you have to memorize a ton of different plays or that you're doing anything different at the 1 than you do at the 3 or the 4. And so if you know one, you kind of know them all. Now, there are some special quick hits that you do have to memorize and out-of-bounds plays and that sort of thing. But for the most part, we really try to make it so that really the 4 best perimeter players are on the floor, not by the best off guard or the best small forward. It can be anything.
Pretty comfortable with this team against full court pressure?
I am. And we're going to see some. At the end of the game, and people get pretty aggressive with it and foul a lot, like we saw at Purdue. Sometimes that can rattle you a little bit, when they're throwing you a bunch of double teams at you and things like that in those pressure moments. But for the most part, I feel like, a normal press that we can handle that. And you got somebody like Caitlin that handles the ball so well at that position that I feel pretty comfortable with it.
And, in those foul situations down the stretch, anybody can go to the line.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's pretty nice to have.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Tight
it is.
contest. Well, we are at Bumps at the Finkbein Golf Course. Next week, we will be here on Wednesday night. Remember the Penn State game next Tuesday, so Monday will be a travel day. So we'll be here next Wednesday on the 26th from 6 until 7. So come on out. The Wednesday special, a couple of burgers for $12 and all bottles of wine half price.
Jeez.
So hope to talk about a couple
like
more victories.
Good time here, Bumps, next Wednesday
a good time.
night. Yeah.
Always a good time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, doesn't make any difference. Well, we'll be back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. It is presented by Oaknall, and we'll continue after this on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the hotel at Kirkwood Center, Klosterman Construction, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home of the beautiful Guarantee. Bachmeyer Carpet One is proud to support the Hawkeyes. If you're looking to remodel, build a new home, or just redo a room, we are your flooring store. Outstanding design and sales staff with the knowledge to guide you in a friendly, stress-free atmosphere. Bachmeyer Carpet One. Come visit us.
Check out Bumps Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbein Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bumps Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oaknall East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oaknall. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oaknall has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oaknall.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Oh, you know that old injury of yours, the one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Welcome back to Bumps, Finkbein Golf Course. Hawk Talk on Monday night as the Hawkeyes have 2 big games again this week after a terrific 3-game stretch last week. It is at Minnesota on the 20th. That'll be on Thursday night. That's a 7 o'clock tip from Williams Arena. And then Indiana comes to town next Sunday for another 5 o'clock contest. And Indiana ranked in the top 10 in the country, number 6, number 5, depending on which poll you look at, and just got away with a victory yesterday against Purdue at West Lafayette. Boy, you really thought the Boilermakers had that game, but that's what good teams do. Finish you off and stay undefeated at 6-0 in the conference through the Hoosiers.
Yeah, they're coming to town on Sunday in Carver Hawkeye Arena at 5 o'clock. So hope we can match the crowd we had yesterday. That was just fabulous. Over 8,400 people in Carver Hawkeye Arena. I believe the Indiana game might be our last Sunday game, or is there the Michigan game at the end of the year? What day is that on? I don't even know.
It's on a weekend. I think it is a Sunday,
okay,
27th. Okay. It's a 3 o'clock tip.
Okay.
So. But
yep.
certainly for a while, that's a long way away.
That's a long ways away. So last chance to catch us in a weekend game is this Sunday, 5 o'clock against Indiana. Ranked, what are they, 5th, 6th in the country right now?
5th or 6th, depending on the poll, yeah.
And you look at that Purdue game, and they were actually out 2 starters during that game. Mackenzie Holmes, who's a terrific center, has been out with a little bit of a knee injury, and then their point guard was out with COVID. And so basically we don't know when that they will be back. COVID is now the 5-day that they're out, but they have canceled their game against Michigan State for Wednesday night. They have told us that they will be at Carver Sunday and playing, so we have to take that for what it's worth and hope that they are, we get that game. We can't lose another game. We need to play, and we don't want to lose our, home court game and our Sunday game. We want to be able to play that. So we'll keep everybody posted, but right now, as of today, they were telling us, yes, we're going to be fine by Sunday. So they must have had a few more COVID cases, and after one of their players came down with it, and it just took them out of that Wednesday game, though.
Yeah, because now it's going to be hard to get a game anywhere now.
It is
the
so
cramped
hard.
schedule.
Yeah, because our schedule is completely
Don't
jammed.
even want to think about next week.
I can't. I mean, I get tired thinking about, playing Indiana Sunday at 5 o'clock, having one day of prep, getting on an airplane, flying to Happy Valley to play Tuesday, getting home really late Tuesday night. We have to take a mandatory day off, one day off a week. So Wednesday's a day off, and then we have a one-day prep and travel to Northwestern in the same day, play there on Friday.
At least you got it down.
I've done it enough times in my head. I do have it down. So it's going to be a crazy week. And, when 2 of those games are on the road, that makes it a little bit tougher, too.
Sure does. And the Hawkeyes will be in a stretch now with 5 of the next 7 on the road. But that means that turns at the end of the year. We got 4 out of 6 and then 3 straight in February. So got to keep it even, right?
That's right.
Let's go back to the phones. John calls in. John, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm going to be there Sunday. I'm looking forward to that game with Indiana.
That'll be a good one.
Thank you.
Yes, it will. I've had the pleasure of watching Caitlin for years here in Des Moines, and I really appreciated the commentator Sunday making the observation that Caitlin does not play with arrogance. She plays with passion, and I would agree with that 100%. But beyond that, I'm just really enjoying the passing and the assists this year. And I think we're averaging about 19 assists a game. And I'm wondering if that's pretty average for your teams over the years, or if that's unusually high. But especially Sonano catching some of those balls in traffic is amazing.
It's not easy.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're averaging 18.6 assists on the year, so almost 19, John. You're correct on that. But I agree with you. Kate, Monica, first of all, has the most unbelievable hands. And, I mean, Caitlin can whip it in there. I mean, she can, pass on a dime, but you got to be ready for it. And the thing is her hands are so good, and then she converts, 2 out of 3 shots she's going to convert, which really gives you a lot of assists. But the thing about Caitlin is people don't understand that, yes, she led the country in points per game last year, but she also led the country in assists. And so that's pretty amazing that you are able to lead the country in both. And I agree with you, John. She plays with an amazing amount of passion. She loves the game of basketball. She loves the Iowa Hawkeyes, and she loves wearing the black and gold and representing us. And appreciate your comments on that, John.
Yeah, I used to tell people when she was in high school to go watch, and if she never scored, just watch her pass the ball.
Oh, I agree with you.
So, all right, good luck.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
And even this year, leading the country in scoring and still 4th in the country in assists. So she's right there in both categories.
I did not know that yet. I did not know that. So that's, again, pretty incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, and you're right. The passing is just incredible. And Monica, getting displaced and having to worry about where the defense is coming from, plus go get those passes, and then knowing where she is on the court and finishing everything around the hoop.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, left hand, right hand. Yeah.
And, and she jumps up and grabs the pass sometimes, it's just incredible, her body balance to be able to do that. Caitlin had a great practice today, a great, unbelievable pass. And that's what's fun about it. Like, she was driving to the basket, behind the back, wrap-around pass to Monica going in for a layup. So it was, we get treated every day to something special out of those guys.
Yeah, and the ball handling, as we talked about, against the pressure, it just calm with both hands. You just have that sense that, hey, nothing bad's going to happen with the ball in her hands. She's so good at it, and it's just so comfortable with it.
Yeah, we had 19 assists on 14 turnovers at Purdue, and yesterday 16 assists on 10 turnovers. So not bad numbers. Like to get those turnovers down a little bit more, but again, the high assists, 16 assists on 29 made field goals is pretty good. And then the game before, 19 assists on 26 field goals. So almost every one of our baskets came as a result of a good pass. We always say that. A good pass leads to a good shot.
Yep, a staple in Hawkeye basketball for sure. Tonight's show is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes back Hawkeye fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. And here in Iowa, we, of course, grow a lot of corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn is a multi-purpose crop which benefits the entire state, feeds our livestock, nourishes our families, and provides clean burning fuel for our planet. So thank you, of course, to Iowa's corn farmers. Still have a few minutes left if you want to jump in the conversation. 1-877-464-2957, 877-464. Go Hawks. John, appreciate you checking in from the Des Moines area. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbein Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Country superstar Sarah Evans is bringing her Copy That tour to the newly remodeled event center at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort on May 21st.
And I could not ask for more. You were born to fly. No place that far.
Tickets are on sale now at riversidecasinoandresort.com.
More Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder from Bumps. Appreciate, once again, everybody coming out after Iowa's big victory last night, 93-83 over Nebraska. Sweep the series against the Huskers, and the only meeting between Iowa and Purdue was at West Lafayette last Thursday. Net ranking now inside 30 at 28. We had a Facebook question last week about the record for Big Ten Player of the Week. Well, we don't have to look very far. I checked with Hannah in communications office. Megan Gustafson, 23.
23. That's amazing.
That's not honor roll or anything. That's Players of the Week. Honors.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that's the Big Ten record.
Well, Caitlin, you got something to go for. Let's go for it.
Right.
But that's, I'm glad that, couldn't think of a better person to have it. Megan is playing over in Poland right now and having a really good, really playing well over there in the EuroLeague. And so happy for her. Kathleen Doyle's also in Turkey, and she's playing right now. And so those two are both playing very well.
Yeah, and that's great news.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the phones and head to Williamsburg. Lloyd is called in. Lloyd, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Okay. I have two questions for Lisa, Coach Bluder here. There's three freshmen that you have. Could you kind of talk a little bit about them and maybe where they're from, how they're improving? We don't get any programs anymore. And the other thing is, I know you signed three basketball players, and one's from Fremont, Nebraska. I'd like to get a little information on her, and I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Lloyd, and your questions. So we do have three freshmen, three true freshmen. We have four newcomers if you include Kylie Feuerbach in that number, but she is a sophomore. But three freshmen. So we have Addison O'Grady, who's from near the Denver, Colorado area, and at 6'4" is the tallest woman on our roster, and played for a very good AAU team. And in fact, her AAU coach was Keith Van Horn, played at Utah, big man, and so that's she comes from a really good AAU program there. And then we also have AJ Ediger, who's from Michigan, and is playing the five for us. So Addie and AJ are both kind of backing up the five position, Monica in the paint. And then we have Sydney Alforder, who's from the Chicagoland area, Marist High School in Chicago, private school, played in the private Catholic League there, and had a really great high school career. So all three of those players are doing a really good job. I know it's really hard as a freshman to come in and maybe not get the playing time that you're used to as an all-star in high school. And so just trying to get them to understand that, it takes time and to learn the system. And we had a pretty good group. We were in the Sweet 16 last year and returned everybody. And that's a hard thing when a freshman's coming in that, it's hard to get playing time when you have so many good players ahead of you. But we're really, really excited about all three of those. And then we have three incoming players that have signed with us. Hannah Stolke from Cedar Rapids, Washington, who just became the leading scorer ever in Cedar Rapids, Washington girls basketball history. So excited about Hannah. She could play really a 3 or a 4 for us. She's just a very versatile player and very, very talented. Taylor McCabe is the player from Fremont, Nebraska that you're talking about. Taylor is a sharpshooter. And all three of these women all played on the same AAU program, the All-Iowa Attack this summer. Taylor McCabe from Fremont would drive over and come to the Attack practices and play for that team, and just a really, really good shooter. Feet set quickly, gets the ball released, and is having a really good they were down in Florida and she was named MVP of the tournament down there most recently. And then Jada Gimphy is from Johnston, Iowa. Johnston is a highly ranked team. I think they're number one in the state right now. And so and she plays basically a power forward or a 3 as well.
Yeah, talented players coming in for sure. So the future and the present very, very bright. And we'll be back with our remaining moments with Coach Bluder on Hawk Talk on this Monday night, presented by Oaknall on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home, Klosterman Construction, and the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, named Iowa Tourism's 2021 Hotel of the Year and awarded the AAA 4 Diamond Award for lodging. To make reservations, visit thehotelatkirkwood.com or call 877-751-5111 for more information.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home, Klosterman Construction, and the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, named Iowa Tourism's 2021 Hotel of the Year and awarded the AAA 4 Diamond Award for lodging. To make reservations, visit thehotelatkirkwood.com or call 877-751-5111 for more information.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't forget Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder next week, presented by Oaknall right here at Bumps from 6 until 7 on the 26th. So we'll be here next Wednesday, and you can check out the full show schedule under the Connect tab at HawkeyeSports.com. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plan, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. Coach, in the YouTube chat room, Mary Ellen noticed, obviously, that Kendall Coley and Annika Stewart, two sisters of two former players of yours, was playing for Nebraska. She enjoyed the game yesterday and wanted to know if Chase or Hannah were at the contest.
Well, Chase Coley was there, but Hannah just had a baby a couple of days ago.
Wow.
So Jordy was born, young little guy, and really excited. It was he was born on Monday, and so congratulations go out to Hannah and Garrett, and upon the arrival of their son. Jordy. So excited about that. But, yep, Chase was in the crowd. I didn't get to see her, though. I just heard she was there. You always hear Chase, right? You can hear Chase. You may not see her, but you hear her.
Yeah, I saw her across the way at the end of the game. So great to see her back at Carver Hawkeye. Right. And speaking of, this is a shout-out to the fans and what a great job they have done. But Iowa leads the Big Ten in home attendance at over 58.
Wow, that's awesome,
and
man.
That's not including yesterday's crowd. And the other thing, too, Coach, is that Iowa's been the biggest draw on the road by far so far this year, averaging over 5,800 fans on the road.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm sure we'll have a really big crowd up at Minnesota tomorrow as well. And kind of an interesting fact, Monica Sonano's going home. Her sister happens to play for Minnesota, not playing a lot, but is on the team as a freshman. It's Monica's birthday. The best thing we can do, give her a Hawkeye victory.
Absolutely. And Iowa and Minnesota Thursday night. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
See you Sunday in Carver at 5 o'clock.
Absolutely. Yep. Don't forget, Iowa and Indiana, 5 o'clock on Sunday, hopefully after a Minnesota victory. Thanks for all that came out and listened tonight, and good night from Bumps.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. And by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game, brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into Hawk Talk, our weekly visit with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Good to have you along the Hawkeye Radio Network tonight. With yesterday's victory over Minnesota, Iowa basketball now has won 6 of its last 7 games. And the Hawks head to Rutgers Wednesday night, then return home to face Penn State in a rare Saturday afternoon game. How great will it be to have the Hawks in Carver on Saturday afternoon? Make plans to be there. And then Purdue comes calling. Purdue with a big win over Illinois in Champaign-Urbana this afternoon. There are no more unbeatens in the Big Ten. That was Illinois' first loss. Purdue has lost 2 games, so you can see the standings getting somewhat jumbled and tight at the top. The Hawkeyes are right in the middle of the pack after that big victory, that quad 1 win they were able to put in the left-hand column yesterday up in Minneapolis, Iowa. Now 13-4 overall after an 81-71 victory over the Golden Gophers. Got the big lead, then held on as Minnesota made a furious rally in the second half. Got it down to 1 possession, the deficit to 1 possession. And then Keegan Murray, as he has done so many times before, hit a clutch basket. Keegan registered his 4th double-double of the season, 25 points, 10 rebounds. Murray has tallied now 20-plus points 12 times and more than 25 points, 25 or more, an NCAA best 9 times this season. And the Hawkeyes' improving defense registered 10 steals. You combine with the 15 against Indiana last week, and that's 25 steals in 2 games. So the Iowa defense is doing a lot of things well, too. Shooting guard, of course, Jordan Bohannon, clutch at the foul line with 4 big free throws in the game's final 30 to 45 seconds, and the Hawks hold on for an 81-71 victory. It was great to be there, great to see, great to call. Bobby Hansen sitting alongside tonight as he is each and every week as we await Fran McCaffery's arrival. And partner, it was a great win. Always is to get a win. Any win on the road in the Big Ten is huge. They're so difficult to pry away from the home team, as visitors know when they come to Carver.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. And you mentioned a quad 1 win in the net rankings, what the tournament committee will use at the end of the year. The Hawks sitting real good right there. I think I saw 17 maybe, up to 17 in the net right now, which is outstanding. They made it a little closer maybe than we all wanted, but I was telling somebody today, I never had a doubt that we were going to lose that game. I did not think for a second that when it got within 3, I said we just have too much firepower. Keegan Murray, he was unstoppable, and then he hits one of the biggest shots of the year outside of Joe Toussaint's bank shot at Virginia to kind of ice the game, put us up 77-71. A big shot right there. We'll let Coach McCaffery tell us how he drew that play up and what they were looking for on that. But good win, 4 free throws. The Iceman, Jabo, knocks him down, sends him home. Start your car. Let's get out of town.
A great learning experience for, as we talked on the postgame show, a still really young roster, save for a couple guys.
Yeah, and they contributed. Tony Perkins, some big plays. Aaron Eulis, big plays in there. Chris Murray didn't have the scoring game he had against Indiana.
Patrick McCaffery had some clutch plays, too.
Patrick had some big plays. He had a big three-pointer to pull us. We were down 7-2, if you remember, to start that game. And then it was Patrick's big 3 that kind of got the Hawkeye offense rolling just outside the 16-minute mark. So, yeah, that bodes well for the future. And Peyton Sanford got in there a little bit, got his feet wet. I saw his dad up there in Williams Arena. So good to get those guys some minutes.
For sure. And, of course, we haven't even talked about Philip Rebraca yet. Yeah. He was our star of the game with a double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds. He's a salty veteran, but you know what? It's his one and only year at Iowa, so he's experiencing this for the first time. You mentioned Patrick McCaffery's big 3 there early in the game. Hawks got down 7-2 and then went off on a 30-14 run to the end of the first half, where they led by 16 at the break, 43-27. And there was a lot going on then, Bobby, not to mention really excellent shooting from the perimeter. Hawks shot 48% in the first half, but they were forcing turnovers. They were rebounding, and they were putting Minnesota in the deep freeze.
Yeah, absolutely. The rebound numbers, that's a good point, Gary. Philip Rebraca with the double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive boards. Keegan Murray had 10 boards, 4 of those offensively, but Hawks are doing better on the glass. Out-rebounded Minnesota 40-31, and Fran mentioned it on his post-game show that when Philip plays like that, they are a different team.
They are, and a much better team, without question, because that might be the Achilles heel for the Hawks going forward, as we've seen, is rebounding, at least holding your own on the boards. And the Hawks outboarded the Gophers 40-31. Minnesota found out yesterday morning before shoot-around they had a couple coaches that tested positive for COVID, and it also affected 3-4 players. They were without Eric Curry, who had scored 19 at Michigan State the other night. He turned an ankle late in that game, and he was out because of the sprain. And hopefully Minnesota can get him back. But they've got some good players. I'll tell you what, in that run, Bobby, they had Jamison Battle knock down 3 threes. E.J. Stevens sparked the rally. He hit 9 of 15 shots. They've got so many new parts in Ben Johnson's first year. Many transfers, 10 new players in all. But you can see them slowly but surely melding into a solid unit, and will be when they come to Iowa City.
Yeah, when you get 10 new players, Gary, only 2 guys were left from the last roster. Marcus Carr and Brandon Johnson, the stars there that went on. Marcus Carr went to Texas. Brandon Johnson went to DePaul. So Ben Johnson has done a really good job in his first year. Of this team started out, they won 10 games early. So, you know, he's a lifer as a coach from De La Salle High School there up in Minneapolis. Played at Northwestern, played at Minnesota. So you knew, in watching him play and his teams play over the past, they're going to compete. So even though they got down 20-plus points, you knew that game was not over. They were going to continue to fight you all the way to the end. Exactly what they did.
And now it's on to Rutgers and Piscataway. From one old barn to another old barn, a much smaller barn, the Rack, as they like to call it, the Rutgers Athletic Center. And, you know, the Hawks have had success out there. I still think of Wieskamp's corner bank shot from right in front of the Iowa bench that skimmed off the fiberglass and down through the basket a few years ago. Iowa's won 9 of the 11 meetings with Rutgers, but it's never been easy.
Never been easy. And they got a boatload of talent on that team this year, some veteran talent as well. We'll let Fran tell us about the personnel there, but Geo Baker, Ron Harper, Paul McKay, Cliff Omarui is playing well. Caleb O'Connell is playing better than he did last year. They don't play a lot of guys in the games that I'm seeing, but they do compete. Ron Harper Jr. hits a crazy half-court shot to beat Michigan, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. But they have renamed that place. I still refer to it as the Rack, but it is now Jersey Mike's Arena. Right. So we have to give it its proper due.
Jersey Mike's. Yeah, that Jersey Mike's. The sub place was born in New Jersey, and no doubt we'll mention that a couple times on game night. Speaking of plugging our hosts, we're at the Hyatt Regency, as we are each and every week for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. You can join us at the Hyatt Regency Coralville's Edgewater Grill and Bar. That's where we're comfy and cozy. You can enjoy extended happy hour until 8:30. Come and enjoy their brand new menu featuring items like New Orleans bucatini, buffalo cauliflower, and baked caramel apples. The bar is also now offering whiskey flights. I'm going to mention what that is as the show proceeds tonight. Over 40 varieties of whiskey to choose from. Each time you come to the show, you'll be entered into the hotel's drawing also to win a range of prizes, including a free room night giveaway each week. You got to come on out to the Edgewater Grill and Bar and register. All entries will be pooled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. Now, what is a whiskey flight, you ask? All of their high-end whiskeys and bourbons, you can order 4 half shots. They call it a foursome.
There you go. It's a double shot. You had 4 half shots. That's 2 shots.
That's 2 shots. For instance, of course, I went right to the all Iowa tasting flight. That's Templeton Rye, 4-year version, Cedar Ridge Bourbon, Cody Road, which is out of LeClaire, and Cedar Ridge Quintessential. And then they've got the reserve, Whistle Pig, Piggyback, Knob Creek, Bullet Bourbon, Johnny Walker Black. All different prices, but very reasonably priced, I might add. Check out the tasting flights here. Ask for the tasting flight menu when you come to the Hyatt Regency at Coralville's Iowa River Landing. The Edgewater Grill and Bar is where we're at. And, of course, the tasty food menu items, which they've restructured. We'll mention a few of those before we leave here tonight. You can wash it down with a Bud Light. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes back Hawk fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Next home game is Saturday with Penn State. Bud Light is for the fans. Iowa Rutgers coming up on Wednesday night. Now that's a little bit of a later start than normal, 7:30 Iowa time, so we'll be on the air around 6:30 with the Hawkeye pregame coverage, and we hope you'll join us. And join us tonight here on Hawk Talk. You can reach us at on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. You can also reach us on Facebook at Voice of the Hawks voiceofthehawks.com. voiceofthehawks.com if you have a question or a comment for Coach McCaffery. If you'd just rather pick up the phone and dial in toll free, you can do that as well at 877-464-2957. 1-877-464-2957. Leave your question or comment with our in-studio engineer, Brady, and he'll pass it along to our engineer-producer here, Corey Sheets. And we'll talk what you want to talk about where Hawkeye basketball is concerned. Bobby, want to welcome in everybody. This is Dr. Martin Luther King Day. It's the ML King, Martin Luther King holiday. And because of part of that celebration in honor of Dr. King is lots of basketball, NBA and college basketball play all day, afternoon, starting late morning and running through the afternoon. There have been a ton of NBA games today in honor of Dr. King, including the Atlanta Hawks, where he was born and raised, hosting one. We had a couple games in the Big Ten. We mentioned Purdue's knockoff of upset, I guess it technically would be, of Illinois, down in at the State Farm Center in Champaign-Urbana. Double overtime, and Purdue outlasted the Illini by a count of 96-88. Indiana's leading Nebraska with just about a half a minute to go, 75-69 out in Lincoln. So it looks like the Hoosiers are going to bounce back with a victory. But that Purdue Illinois game was some kind of a raucous event. I can only imagine. I didn't even realize they were playing that early until late in the game. But they got contributions from all over the floor on both teams. And Andre Curbelo was back in the lineup for the Illini at 20.6 rebounds.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. He really was a lift for them. And they said it had been since about Thanksgiving when he had the concussion. And so he's been out a couple months with that. But it looked like he didn't miss a beat. He was quick. He was making shots. It did look like he ran out of gas at the end when they got into overtime and then double overtime. But he made some spectacular moves. You got to remember, he was going up against big old Zach Edey inside, who had his way, Gary, with Kofi Coburn at the first part of that game. Kofi ended up fouling out of that game, but
he got in early foul trouble.
He got in early foul trouble, and they were letting him play as well. DJ Karstensen, I think Bo Borowski, and I can't remember the third guy, Brian Dorsey, we're calling it, but it was an incredible amount of physical contact inside, but it had to be a really, really hard game to officiate. But they got through it, double overtime. I had just enough battery in my phone as I was in the office watching it on my Fox Sports app, and really enjoyed it. It was big time Big Ten basketball.
96-88. And a guy that we've watched drain threes for a long time, Sasha Stefanovic. He scored 22 points, including the go-ahead three at the start of double overtime. And fourth-ranked Purdue went on to defeat the Fighting Illini, number 17, Illinois, 96-88. Alfonso Plummer had a big day for Illinois. Purdue's now 15-2 and 4-2 in the conference. The Illini are 6-1.
Finally,
still in first place, yeah. So there are no more unbeatens in the Big Ten after Purdue hit 4 straight shots to take a 6-point lead with a minute to play in that second overtime. Eric Hunter had 2 of those baskets. And as Brad Underwood said afterwards, they're the best basketball team we've played this year. That's quite an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of free throws, too. Sasha uncharacteristically missed a few free throws, but Jaden Ivey, the kid, he was like 13 out of 15, 15 out of 17 or something, but just a ton of free throws. There were pressure free throws all around. Everybody was knocking them down. I don't think Trent Frazier came off the court. He may have played everything but 10 seconds of that game, but he was really good as well. So good crowd down there. That is an honor to Dr. King and honoring him that the college has picked that up. I know in the NBA it's a special day as they play opening day, Christmas Day, and then they play games on Martin Luther King Day here. So, yeah, great job by everybody. Got more games going on here tonight, and yeah, we got football on top of that as well. Final wild card.
Fred Hoiberg still looking for his first win in the Big Ten, and so are the Huskers. As it's now final 78-71 in favor of Indiana. Big road victory for the Hoosiers. You know, Nebraska's playing everybody tough, Bobby. They just haven't been able to find a way to make enough clutch plays at the end to get over the hump.
Yeah, absolutely. And they compete. Freddie's got them playing hard, and they got a big crowd there downtown Lincoln, Nebraska at that arena that they play in. But too much Trace Jackson Davis here tonight.
And Race Thompson, no doubt, had another solid game. He was off and playing well early for the Hoosiers. We'll have to check his numbers here a little bit later on when we give you a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. As Bobby mentioned, there are a couple of, well, at least one more NFL playoff game tonight, which will conclude a weekend of Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday night NFL games. The Arizona Cardinals are at the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium in L.A.
Site of the Super Bowl.
That's right. I forgot about that. Thank you. And then coming up on Saturday at 3:30, Cincinnati's at Tennessee. San Francisco at Green Bay. George Kittle and the boys head to Lambeau to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I got to see the end of that Dallas game last night with the 49ers. That's some football game. On Sunday, it'll be the winner of the Cardinals-Rams game at Tampa Bay. That's your reward. Go to Tampa and face Tom Brady. And then at 5:30 on Sunday afternoon, the Bills at Kansas City. Yeah. Two of the original AFL teams, Buffalo and Kansas City, getting after each other.
How about the Chiefs? Did you get home in time to watch the end of that?
We listened to our buddy Mitch Holdish.
Mitch, he was great.
Quite a way back on the drive from Minnesota last night.
Mitch and Danon Hughes. I didn't realize Danon was doing it. He did a really nice job. I enjoyed listening.
Danon, former Hawkeye great. He's been on the analyst microphone or headset for the Chiefs for a couple of years now.
And really good.
Does a great job. All right, we're going to step out, take our first break here. Again, we're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, the Iowa River Landing, the Coralville Edgewater Grill and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency, where an extended happy hour lasts until 8:30 tonight. Come and enjoy their brand new menu featuring items like buffalo cauliflower and baked caramel apples and New Orleans bucatini. All available at the Hyatt Regency. We're also brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. With a nationwide network built from your town up, we're proud to be the official wireless provider of the Iowa Hawkeyes. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to U.S. Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with U.S. Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today or learn more at Deere.com. Your Iowa John Deere dealers, proud sponsors of Hawkeye basketball. Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing. Walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
Here we go. Welcome back. at the Hyatt Regency in the Edgewater Grill and Bar. The Iowa River Landing in Coralville. Thanks so much for joining us on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa coming off a big win over Minnesota yesterday, and Indiana the previous Thursday. Indiana just went final, beating Nebraska 79-71. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside Bobby Hansen. Coach McCaffery will be joining us shortly. Yeah, Bobby, two big wins.
Yeah.
You go back to that Hoosier game last Thursday night. 23 turnovers the Iowa defense forced and turned them into 34 points. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was really good. Found themselves down at halftime, but completely flipped the script. Got tough in the second half, and there was a play Fran and I were talking about, Joe Toussaint, Patrick McCaffery, right at the start of the second half, which really kind of set the tone for the guys. And Chris Murray, the coming out for Chris Murray was incredible. 12 of 18 from the floor, 29 points, 11 rebounds. He just showed the world what he's capable of.
For sure. And I might add that the crowd was as good as we've heard all season long, the home crowd.
Yeah, late game, too, and really came out and cheered. A lot of young kids were there and really helped the Hawkeyes defensively, I think, in that second half.
Got a question for Bobby from Mark on Twitter, at Gary Dolphin. Bobby, playing 4 years under Lute, what do you consider Coach Olson's top strengths as a coach?
I think how he communicates with people, recruiting, connects with the family, how he made it a family atmosphere. Preparation, game prep, always had the scouting reports and ready to go. His staff was always top notch. And, again, go back to the guys that he recruited. He made sure that everybody was going to fit in a certain way, or they weren't welcome. He knew that right away from recruiting. But so glad that I had the smarts to choose to come to Iowa. A little prodding from my father. I said, you need to go to Iowa and play for Coach Olson. So that I did, and have lifelong friendships through it. Guys like Mark Gannon, Steve Waite, Vince Brookins, and we lost Kenny Arnold, Ronnie, Tree Henry, and we communicate best we can. John Darcy, a member of that team, Chief Innovation Officer here at the University of Iowa, medical department, I believe. So, yeah, just a great group of guys, and hard to believe that 1980 Final Four team, it'll be, 42 years?
42 years. I was thinking about it. You mentioned Vince Brookins. Keegan Murray reminds me of a little bigger version of Vince Brookins, just because he's so silky smooth, fluid with his movements, and obviously a great jump shot.
Vince was smooth, against that 2-3 zone that Minnesota put on the Hawks in the second half. I was thinking, we need Vince. Go to that free throw line area and catch a ball and turn and fire. But Keegan got up there and kind of did similar type of work there at the free throw line. But Vince never played better than during the Eastern Conference Finals to get to the Final Four, the Eastern Regional Finals. He was not the MVP. Up until a couple of years ago, I thought he was the MVP, but they gave it to Sleepy Floyd off the Georgetown team. But Vince was phenomenal and probably played his best basketball during that time.
He was the bigger the moment, the better he was, and he's so clutch with those baseline jumpers.
Yeah,
he could be behind the square and splash through the net. The guy had such a pretty form too.
Yeah, he really did, and strong, and great teammate. Vince is and was, and Keegan puts it on the floor a little bit better though. Keegan will go to the basket, and that's what I saw against Minnesota. Keegan was unstoppable. They did not have anybody that could guard him when they put him on the low block, and credit to the staff for calling those plays. And 4 out, put him inside, and he went to work and did a lot of damage.
When you have a guy that can make double and triple moves like he can with basketball, he's going to score either side of the lane.
Yeah, right or left-handed too.
Doesn't make a difference. Yeah, Coach McCaffery has arrived. We'll get Fran in here in just a minute. We've got some special guests here tonight, courtesy of Authentic Brand. Jan Sayeta. Did I get that right, Jan? Is that
Wave. Where are you at?
Where are you at, Jan? Okay. Jan Sayeta and her friend is here in Coralville at the Hyatt Regency. Welcome, Jan. Among a terrific crowd here tonight. Thank you all for coming out on a wintry Monday night. Jan is the winner of Hawkeye apparel from Authentic Brand, and will also get to enjoy dinner, is already enjoying dinner here tonight. I think you're in the appetizer section right now. Thanks to Authentic Brand, Clark Fessler and his crew over in Perry, Iowa. It's a great Iowa company for putting together this fun prize pack. Authentic Brand is the proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast crew like Bobby and I and Ed Podolak during football, but outfitting thousands of fans every game day. If you'd like to sign up to win apparel and dinner from Authentic Brand, all you have to do is go to HawkeyeSports.com. Outfit your life in Authentic Brand gear and give your personal and professional image a boost from Authentic. Authentic Brand and authentic-brand.com. They've got a very attractive website with all of the goodies on there, all the brands, all the labels. Bobby and I are thinking alike.
Yeah, we look like Keegan and Chris Murray. We're twins.
We're thinking alike today. We got my go-to is the Corey, the pullover, the collared pullover. It'd be great for the golf course, but it's comfy on a night like tonight too. And no, it's not named after Corey Sheets, our engineer producer, but it could be. I guess it's snazzy, no doubt about it. So the Corey. I've also got my double-sided sleeveless vest. It's heavy enough to wear in the winter. And the two make a great combination. So check them out at authentic-brand.com. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, the Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Hi, Hawk fans. This is Gary Dolphin. I've been telling you about Authentic Brand's superb Hawkeye gear. But did you know Authentic Brand by TCB Companies is an official outfitter of well-known enterprises and organizations, including iHeartRadio Group and Learfield? The style and comfort and great looks of Authentic Brand gear, both sporty and professional, will give your image a boost. Outfit your personal and professional life in Authentic Brand gear.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a two-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Bachmeyer Carpet One Floor and Home, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Klosterman Construction, building custom homes for 20 years. Klosterman Construction is a premier custom home builder doing everything from remodels to exclusive custom homes. Klosterman takes the stress out of your building project. Award-winning designs, quality craftsmanship, and superior customer service. Call 319-545-7088.
And we're back on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery, Gary Dolphin, and Bobby Hansen flanking the coach as we welcome him into another Monday night program. We certainly don't want to shy away from the fact the Hawks preview a little bit more of Iowa at Rutgers on Wednesday night, but we certainly don't want to leave the circle where the Hawks posted 2 wins last week as well against Indiana and the University of Minnesota. Fran, good evening. Welcome in. Good week last week all the way around.
It was. I thought, the Indiana game was very physical. It was really a great crowd, I thought. The students still aren't back, but the crowd was really into the game, and we made that run in the second half. Our defense was really good. We were turning them over, and the energy level in the building was the way it should be for a Big Ten basketball game of that caliber, and a big factor in the game, I thought. Yesterday, great atmosphere again on the road, and for the most part, we kept them quiet. We woke them up. We made a couple defensive mistakes, missed some free throws, got a little bit tentative with a big lead against the zone. Didn't attack it the way we needed to. Settled for jump shots. But, again, we learned from that. We watched the film and you see what you missed. And, we didn't execute a couple things that we would, if we had to do it over again. But we got enough stops. Had a couple really big-time stops. I thought, Bohannon making his free throws was huge. Obviously, Keegan's 3, but Patrick's jumper, Phillips' jumper in the middle of the lane. You got to get the ball in the high post against the zone, and we did, and we scored twice. Patrick's drive on the baseline was really good. We needed somebody to drive the ball. He gets fouled. Of course, he didn't make the free throws, but we did the right things there, and you learn from it and move on.
Rabracha hit a big jump shot there at the top of the post there.
He was spectacular all day. I mean, double-double. Really was a force inside offensively on the glass. Defensively, his ball screen defense was as good as you're going to see. He was up in his stance. He had 2 steals right from the dribbler.
Yeah.
You don't see that a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, Coach, you mentioned in your post-game comments a different team when Phillip plays like that. What do you mean by that?
Well, defensively, a lot of teams will put the other team's center in ball screens because they can't guard him. Well, he can. He stayed out of foul trouble, so he stayed on the floor. He was an offensive threat, so we could, play inside out. And it takes a lot of the pressure off of Keegan and Patrick and everybody else.
Yeah, he played confident. I mean, what did he have, 25, 27 against when he was at North Dakota playing up there?
He did. And, we watched that game, obviously, when we were recruiting him, and we're very impressed with his aggressiveness and his complete skill set. And I think you're going to see more and more of that.
And, Coach, is it fair to say that, when you are in a game like that and all of a sudden it gets tight, the guys come through confident, you learn how to win in games like that?
Yeah, you definitely want to win a game like that and honestly analyze the things that we didn't do right coming down the stretch. We did enough things right to win. That's the important thing. We didn't completely fall apart because we had a couple, and even a couple fluky things happened. We had a great Keegan made a great defensive play, and then the ball bounces across the baseline, and then Jordan bumps into the guy, and they call a foul. Mm-hmm. Things like that. But I thought Tony Perkins made 2 really, really good plays. The one time, one at each end. Remember, he chased the guy down and almost flew literally off the court, because the court ends.
And Patrick got the rebound, didn't he?
Yeah, Patrick got the rebound. And then in the second half, they isolated Luke Lowy to take him late. I think we were up 6. And he slid his feet, jumped straight up in the air, maintained verticality, and made a miss. Keegan got the rebound, or Phillip got the rebound through with the J-Bo, and he made the 2 free throws. So, a lot of good stuff there. You forget that when you feel like there were things that you didn't do. But that's what the game is. You forget to do stuff. You execute perfectly and the shot doesn't go in, or you don't execute perfectly and you miss the shot. But you grow and you get better.
Yeah, and Coach, I was thinking today, Joe Toussaint, his floor game, defensively, there was a couple of times I saw him come off his man and go and cut the dribble baseline driver off and then race back and get his guy. He was all over the place.
He was all over the place. He went and picked. He goes at the right time to double team the low post.
Yeah,
goes
low
a couple
too.
Steals.
Yeah,
and you got to go at the right time, or else you're going to get burned. He had 7 assists. He had a couple turnovers that he would like to have back, but what he was aggressive, and that's what we want from him. He pushed it. That was, I think, the best game he's had in a while, pushing the basketball, getting it in quick, getting it down the floor. He had a couple times where we just went right into Keegan. Keegan's running right to the front of the rim and got some buckets. That all starts from the guy inbounding the ball and your point guard.
Joe just shows up on those double teams. He's so quick. When he decides to go,
strong,
and he's always going to get a piece of the basketball, either knock it away or come away with a steal. Coach, there's an O-line an old saying, I guess. Great leaders know the way, go the way, and show the way. And I was thinking of that yesterday with Keegan's clutch 3, and then J-Bo, stuck on automatic from the foul line. You've got 2 incredible leaders there, one a sophomore, the other a senior.
Yeah, I mean, you feel really good with those guys on the floor. We needed Connor out there against that zone. That would have really been helpful.
For sure.
We usually put him in the high post, and it would have been, we would have been wide open on our jumpers. But I thought, those guys, we don't see a lot of zone, so they needed to see it.
What zone was that? We were up in the
2-3.
2-3, not a matchup.
It was a 2-3.
Yeah.
No,
basic.
But we didn't attack the baseline at all, so then it stretches a little bit onto the perimeter. We needed to set more ball screens. We needed to get more overloads. We needed to get high, low, high, low, skip opposite, drive it into the gap, shot fakes, pass fakes, that kind of stuff. We were just kind of moving the ball without a purpose, and then somebody would shoot it. And luckily, Keegan made a big one.
Minnesota had an early 5-point lead 3 minutes into the game, and then the Hawks got settled in, put a 30-14 run on them to get the lead to 16 at the half. What was working? What were you pleased about?
Our defense was really good. It was our defense in our transition game, our press, but we were guarding their stuff correctly. In the second half, we were trading baskets, and we weren't defending with the same execution. You always think about execution only on offense. Execution breaks down more often on defense. So if they're running a double drag, all right, are we switching the first one and staying with on the second one? Are we switch? What are we doing? We got to switch up, because who's in the ball screen when there's 2 guys? Well, it's 2 of their best players, maybe 3. And then sometimes it would just be simple ball screen with their 2 best players. Well, remember the one time we didn't switch. 2 guys went to 1, and they throw the ball to Battle, and he hits a 3. It's like, guys, we're switching that. We covered that. We talked about it, and we didn't do it. And then they ran the double drag, and we left Jamison Battle. And he hits a 3. He had just hit 2. So you're, as a coach, you're upset about that. But over the long haul of 40 minutes, we guarded that stuff really well. We just didn't in those 2 situations, and it was magnified because it was near the end of the game and they were on a run. Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to consistently perform the way we did to get that 30-14 run you were talking about.
Well, and E.J. Stevens and Battle showed you when they get
Stevens
going.
had a really good game. I mean, he was going off the dribble. We really guarded him well a couple times, and he made tough shots. That happens, and you just got to give it to the kid. He's a senior. He's a really good player. We were up in his face. I mean, I can think of a couple shots down. Peyton Willis made a turnaround jumper in the lane. Patrick went in his face. Tony Perkins was all over Stevens when he made that one. It's running to the left, fading back, one-legged fade away, hit the rim about 19 times and fell in. You got to give it to the kid for that.
And I find it ironic that the streak started with an offensive rebound.
Yeah.
And Stevens hit a wing 3.
Yeah, but the offensive rebound came off a missed 3 from a guy who shouldn't have been open. But then the other play that was a kind of a big play in the game, Chris Murray ran the floor really well. They scored. Chris took off, and so now he's in the spot that Keegan's in a lot. And Aaron Eulis pushed it hard and threw it to him. He's right at the front. All he's going to do is catch it and dunk it, and he kind of mishandled it. If we dunk the ball right on top of them, that just keeps the crowd out of the game. It keeps the lead where it was. Yeah. And it just kind of gives you a little. And all of a sudden they come down and hit a 3. Now it's a big game changer.
Yeah, the crowd had been sitting on its hands.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anybody was there for the most part.
Exactly. Yeah. I bring up the offensive rebound for Minnesota because Iowa had 17 points off second chance opportunities. The Hawks had 15 offensive rebounds to 7 for Minnesota. So you really played well at both ends of the floor off the glass.
We did, and if you analyze the game, they pretty much play 4 guards.
Yes.
So they're not really going to the glass every time. The other thing is they don't play a lot of guys. They didn't have their center, Curry, but they don't play a lot of guys anyway. So they're really careful that they kind of get their defense back. And they get their 5 guys underneath the ball. And they make you score against a stacked defense. And they come down and they work the ball. They use the entire clock. So, they'll play games in the 60s, low 60s. And, it was more than that yesterday because we were going, and they were hitting some shots late, too.
Yeah, you had the running game going early, which certainly played right into the Hawks' favor. We're at the Hyatt Regency, the Edgewater Grill and Bar. We're here until 8:30 with Coach McCaffery. We've been talking about Indiana and Minnesota, and we'll switch our thoughts to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming up when we return from this break. We've got some questions on Twitter and on Facebook for Coach McCaffery and for Bobby Hansen. We'd like to hear from you, too, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And we are glad you tuned in tonight. Iowa at Rutgers Wednesday night. More about that in just a minute on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
When you set up a savings goal with US Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the US Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. I'm Gary Dolphin. Bobby Hansen is always joining us here. And thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for tuning in on the Hawkeye Radio Network. The Hawkeyes have won 6 of their last 7 games. And yesterday was Iowa's second true road victory of the season, the other at Virginia. Of course, the Hawks have had success on a neutral floor as well. We're here until 8:30 tonight, taking your calls and questions on Facebook and Twitter. A couple of our regular visitors here, Kevin and Tim Doherty, are enjoying a meal tonight, and they're involved with a big fundraiser coming up. I want to give it a quick mention on Sunday, February 27th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, over at Big Grove Brewery and Tap Room here in Iowa City. It's a big fundraiser for what they call Celebrate Hope. which supports the Coralville Clinic for mental and physical rehabilitation. It can be everything from brain injuries to strokes to heart attacks, where mental and physical rehab is required. And so we invite all individuals and businesses in the community to support that. And if you're outside the Iowa City Coralville area and you want to come in on that Sunday afternoon, February 27th, please do so. There'll be food and raffles and great stories of how together we empower hope. So that's Sunday, February 27 at 2 p.m. at the Big Grove Brewery and Iowa City Tap Room. So we appreciate the Big Grove for supporting that fundraiser. Guys, good luck with that. Coach, we've got on Twitter, Mark says Minnesota's zone seemed to give the team some problems with Connor out. Did you consider using the Murrays or Patrick in the middle to pass, shoot, or drive? Could be deadly to break that zone. Well, we talked about that a little bit ago.
Yeah, we covered that. I mean, that's who was flashing in there. We kept Phillip on the baseline. Keegan was flashing in. Patrick, Phillip did flash in. Chris flashed in. We were a little tentative to hit right away, and we were not as quick to shoot the ball, and we were in the bonus. We were in a double bonus there for what? Just rip and drive from there, shot fake, take 2 dribbles in, shot fake again, see if you can get to the free throw line. But we couldn't get any jumpers to fall either. I think J-Bo hit 1. Other than that, a lot of our jumpers were off until Keegan made his, which was obviously huge.
Talk about that one, Fran, a little bit there. I know you facetiously said you went deep into your playbook and drew that thing up. But
the thing about it is the way they were matching up, was important. Like Keegan would come out, he would set some ball screens. And one time, remember, Joe turned the corner and skipped it to J-Bo, and he passed on that one. He doesn't do that, but that's okay if you don't catch it clean or whatever. And then he drove it back because they recovered to him. But, Keegan just came out. Now we're in a 2-3, so now if you go 4 out, they didn't match up to him right away, so he just raised up and shot it. So that was really just a good recognition on his part.
Brandon on Twitter says, hey, Coach, a couple great wins this past week. What have you liked most from J-Bo so far this season? It's great to see him not having to depend for him to be such a scorer. He's doing so many other things well.
Yeah, I thought he did a lot of good things in those 2 games, and he always does. His free throw shooting, of course, iced the game yesterday. And, we've moved him around a little bit. He's primarily playing the 2 spot. We play him at the point a little bit. We put him in a point at the end to kind of stretch the defense a little bit and have him go out to get him. But I think defensively he's battling, and he's penetrating more because they're chasing him so hard. He's getting the ball into the lane. We ran out of bounds play. He drove it and scored. He's hitting that little floater. And the one time he curled it, if you remember, and he hit Phillip on a screen roll on a cleared side, and Phillip dunked it. So he just knows how to play, and he gets everybody involved. And he runs out on the break and influences the defense in transition, which enables Keegan to get the ball in front of the rim. And it gives Joe T and Aaron more space with which to push the ball and to break. All that stuff is tied in together.
I love his demeanor, too, because he's getting assaulted on some game days. They're running him into double teams. They're hacking him. They're grabbing onto him. And he just keeps moving.
Yeah, nothing rattles him. I mean, he's incredibly competitive, but smart. And he's able to use that against his opponent. He recognizes if they're chasing him like that and they're face guarding and overplaying him like that, he'll become a screener. So he's sacrificing himself, and he'll go get other guys open.
And yesterday, we didn't see Connor. He was there. He was sitting there. He was active in the game. He was helping you, talking to Billy, talking to the coaches. But get update on Connor.
Yeah, he didn't practice today either. He's having some problems with his back. He's been able to, in between each game, kind of get ready for the next one, and then we'll see how he does in practice that week. But we'll see if he can do some things tomorrow. Hopefully he'll play Wednesday.
Well, give us a quick scouting report on Rutgers before we talk about their individuals. Of course, it starts with Ron Harper Jr. and Geo Baker and Mulcahy. They always have a good perimeter game, but they've always had some studs inside, too.
Well, they got, Mulcahy's playing the point. Geo's playing the 2 spot. McConnell's back, and Ron Harper. So those 4 guys have pretty much been starting for him for 3 years, 4 years. Geo's obviously been there more than 4 years. But their center, since Miles Johnson transferred to UCLA, is Cliff Omoruyi, who, if you remember last year, he was one of the better freshmen in the league, came off the bench, played a lot. But now he's starting. Phenomenally athletic, high flyer, catches alley-oops, dunks like crazy. I mean, he's just that athletic, that bouncy. They play those 5 guys a lot. They have 2 guys coming off the bench who can play. Some guys who played a little bit last year, playing a little more this year, obviously. But those guys are all going to play 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Ron Harper had a career-high 31. Big second half. We were listening to that game on the way to Minneapolis Saturday. He had 6 threes, Coach. I know he can shoot. I know he's got great range, but is he that deadly of a three-point shooter?
Well, he's only shooting 65% in Big Ten play.
So, right now he is.
I guess the answer
Coach.
is yes.
I guess we didn't read the scouting report.
Yeah, he is. He's that good. But the thing about it, though, is they find him. They throw it ahead to him. They push it hard and pitch it back to him. They drive and run action away from him and then skip it to him. Then they run action for him. But the other thing about Ron is he's a really good three-point shooter, but they ISO him, whether it be ISO drives or ISO post-ups, because he's got that kind of frame. He's
and that's
sneaky
where I was
athletic.
Going. That's where I was going with that. He's big and he can take it down low on you.
Yeah, he looks. He's way more athletic than he looks because he's got girth.
He does.
And those guys don't usually jump like he does. But he also, is a great three-point shooter. But he has touch. So little floaters, little leaners, little bank shots from 8 feet. He makes those.
Fran, do you anticipate the Keegan and Ron Harper matchup?
Yeah, I don't think they'll put Ron on Keegan, but they might.
Yeah,
I think they'll put McConnell on him. McConnell is a guy that's really, really good defensively. 6'7", long, veteran guy, been around, athletic. I think Ron will be on him at some point. Yeah. Kind of like yesterday. We didn't think they'd put Battle on him, but they did at some point.
They're number 1 in the Big Ten in three-point field goal percentage defense, too. What are they doing?
Well, they're long and they're active, which is hard to do when you're not subbing a lot. Those guys are in really good shape, but they have a great deal of activity. They're in the gap, and then they close out hard with length. It's a big team. Look at the size of each guy. They got a big team.
And Coach, I've always been impressed with Steve Peichel since you first introduced us to him when we played his old school, Stony Brook.
Yeah.
So I know you got a good relationship with him, and he's done a really good job there at Rutgers. Just talk a little bit.
He has. I think that was a great hire. Pat Hobbs is the AD. I know him well. He's a really good guy and terrific athletic director. And he needed to make the right hire in this situation. He was really trying to take the program to another level, not only in terms of the coach he hires, but facilities and making improvements in areas where they needed improvement. And of course, a lot of times it starts with getting the right head coach. Steve's not only a great basketball guy and tactician, but a great guy for the community. He connects well with people. Kids want to play for him. When we first got there, it all started with defense. They didn't have a lot of talent, so they had to really defend. And he's kind of tried to keep that theme and kind of culture while he added some really talented offensive players, the guys we just mentioned, like started with Harper and Baker in particular. Mulcahy, I think, was always a guy who was a good player, but offensively now I think he's taken it to another level. And same with Cliff. Cliff was a shot blocker last year. This year he's doing a lot more offense. He's averaging 11. He's had 3 or 4 double-doubles.
And they're investing in the program as well. I read an article today.
Yeah, practice facility, upgrade the arena, that kind of stuff.
17th year as a head coach for Coach Steve Peichel. In his 6th season at Rutgers, he's done a terrific job. Fran, back to Twitter and or Facebook. On Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, Sam says, Coach, can you talk about the pros and cons of AAU? Does a player have to play AAU to get recruited? Well, he probably does to get noticed.
Yeah, the answer is you don't have to, but it's hard if you don't. So it kind of sounds like I'm kind of jumping around the question a little bit, but the reality is if you want to be recruited on a national basis, AAU basketball, is critical. So let's say you're a player from the state of Iowa. You know, how many high school games are coaches going to go see? You know, is a college coach going to go to the Hawkeye Ankeny game? Well, he might if he's from Drake or Iowa or whatever.
If you're not playing,
maybe he's from Creighton.
Yeah.
But that's one recruiting day that counts. Whereas if the same players play on an AAU team or go to a tournament, there might be 350 coaches at that tournament. So, you know, just do the math. You know, it enhances your ability to be seen by somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, remember I've always said that. Remember we used to talk about Nicholas Baer, and I said if he grew up in New Jersey, he'd have 50 offers because he would have played in front of a lot more people on a daily basis. So if you're an Iowa high school player, you should play AAU. There are a tremendous amount of options for you. You can play in a bordering state for another AAU team. You can play on a shoot circuit team if you're good enough, and if you're not, you can play on another team that has multiple opportunities to be seen. And think about it. You know, if you only play high school basketball, you're only being seen in those 21 games. Now, the difference today is all of those games can be watched on Huddle. So anybody can access them. So it's not like, well, once the game's over, nobody's going to see you. Mm-hmm. But if you play AAU in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, that's just that many more times that you're playing in front of somebody. Somebody sees you and says, hey, you know, maybe even, you know, he's not going to play for us, but I think you might like him. He might fit your style. Because there are a lot of opportunities to play college basketball. It doesn't have to be Division I. It could be Division II or Division II scholarship or a Division III opportunity at a great school academically.
And we're blessed in Iowa with some outstanding AAU programs.
Yeah, you've got the Barnstormers, you've got Hank Huddleston's group, which is Martin Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Kingdom Hoops, you have All Iowa Tack. You know, Lefty Moore does a great job there. JP with the Barnstormers. There's a number of different options, and like I said, there's plenty more on bordering states.
When did AAU explode? Bobby, did you play AAU?
Well,
did you have a chance to? Or not?
Yes.
Back
I would call it club. I mean, our daughters did in Chicago. We kind of created it. I'm not sure it was part of AAU, but it was more club basketball. We'd go to these blue chip tournaments out at Penn State and that, but more opportunities for these kids. Our AAU exposure back then was you had to win the AAU state tournament in April, and then you went to the national tournament, which I remember we won and added Mark Gannon. We went out and ran up against Isaiah Thomas, Ralph Sampson, and all these guys out there. We held our own pretty much, but it was one national tournament out at Marshall University there in Huntington, West Virginia.
Amazing.
I'm sure Fran was probably part of that too.
For many years, the AAU Nationals in Orlando, that was really kind of like the national championship. And that's when Martin Brothers got really big. They would send basically one team of the best players in Iowa, and Hank would coach them. But more and more, other people were saying, well, what if I'm not on that team? I want exposure. I want to play AAU. So there were more good players that had opportunities then to play on different AAU teams, and there's more tournaments. So there were years when you still had AAU Nationals in Orlando, but you would have 1,500 teams going to Vegas. So you'd have your coaches out in Vegas, you'd have your coaches in Florida.
1,500.
Okay. And then you'd be in Chicago, you'd be in New York. Like, Patrick played for arguably the highest profile team his senior year. And they played just in July, they played in New York, they played in LA, and they played in Vegas. Before that, they played in Indianapolis, they played in Dallas, they played in South Carolina and Spartanburg. And then a lot of the Under Armour teams go to the big. They've got this huge complex just outside of Atlanta. Like, you pull up to this place, and there's all these gorgeous outdoor baseball fields with lights, and then the building itself has 13 courts. And a parking lot, you could put an NFL stadium, and so they'll have just thousands of kids playing baseball and basketball right next to each other, filling up the hotels and everything. But we're all there. Like, we go and we sit there for 12 hours and watch kids from all different states, and you're making phone calls and so forth, trying to find the best players that fit, what we need.
One-stop shopping, indeed.
Yeah, so, it's just, it's a thing where, it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
To put yourself in front of a situation where you're going to be seen by more people and create opportunities for yourself that you wouldn't otherwise have. The difference is, to go back to the question, the NCAA went back and made the June evaluation period for the high schools. So they want us to evaluate players playing for their high school teams for their high school coach, because that's different than playing for an AAU team for an AAU coach. And I really, to be honest with you, I really enjoy that. So I'll go to tournaments in Illinois, and Iowa has not figured that out yet. So in that June period, I went to Illinois and watched all the best Illinois high school basketball teams playing for their high school coach against each other. They don't do that in Iowa. So I have to go to Minnesota to watch the Iowa kids play, because the Iowa organization, hasn't gotten, maybe they didn't get the memo. I don't know.
This is the High School Athletic Association.
Yeah, they need to do a better job of getting these kids exposure.
I'm guessing that has something to do with the summer baseball program, but where kids play multiple sports. But you're right. That would be a great opportunity to see the best teams.
Well, when the NCAA changes the rules for the high schools, well, then let your high schools do what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
You're not exposing the kids to all the college coaches when they should be getting exposed to college coaches, because you don't get around to it.
Yeah, good point.
Think about it.
Have you had that conversation, Fran, with Dr. Keating? No.
No. And I know Dr. Keating.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a Philly guy.
Xavier.
He went to the same high school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a lunch or something in April.
And he does a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a super guy.
Yeah.
All right, but
Tom.
I don't think it's him.
Yeah,
put it that way.
Okay. You're off the hook, Tom.
I don't think it's him.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. We're at the beautiful Hyatt Regency, the Iowa River Landing in Coralville. We're in the Edgewater Grill and Bar, and we're visiting with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery, as we do each and every week. A 10-second ID break here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. And when we come back from our break here to hear from our wonderful sponsors, we'll give you a scoreboard update next here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. We're brought to you by Iowa Corn. We know that Iowa grows a lot of corn, but in reality, corn grows Iowa. Corn grows our livestock, our economy, and our athletes. Put on your best face for the Iowa Corn Cam. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to be corn-fed. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery is brought to you by Wellmark. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plans, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. And this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home brokenhearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, Hawk fans. Gary Dolphin here. I want to tell you about my new favorite Iowa Hawkeye shirt. It's called The Corey by Authentic Brand. The stylish half-zip features butter-soft scuba knit performance fabric. Everyone at your tailgate will want one. To outfit your life in Authentic Brand gear, visit one of our fine retailers near you or order online at authentic-brand.com. You'll get fast, free delivery. Authentic Brand by TCB Companies. Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Fran's taking a little break here. We'll bring you up to date on the scores now, courtesy of U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank scoreboard update brought to you all season long by our friends at U.S. Bank. 2 games on Martin Luther King holiday today in the Big Ten. 4th-ranked Purdue went into Champaign-Urbana and knocked off Illinois 96-88. So there are no more unbeatens in the Big Ten. Illinois was 6-0 entering today's play, now 6-1. Michigan State is 5-1 after being knocked off by Northwestern over the weekend. The Wisconsin Badgers are 5-1. The Ohio State Buckeyes won yesterday, edging Penn State. So the Bucks are 5-2. Rutgers is 4-2. And the Hawkeyes are 3-3. Purdue with that win today is 4-2 as well. Iowa and Indiana. Well, actually, Indiana won tonight, so they're 4-3. The Hawks are 3-3 and hopefully 4-3 after Wednesday. The other final in the Big Ten, Indiana just went final a little bit ago out in Lincoln, knocked off Nebraska 78-71. In the National Football League playoffs, Monday Night Football, the Rams lead the Cardinals in L.A. 14-0. It's going to be 14-0. The Rams are at the 1-yard line in the second period. And coming up this weekend, it'll be Cincinnati at Tennessee, San Francisco at Green Bay. On Sunday, the Cardinals-Rams winner will take on Tampa Bay, and Kansas City will host Buffalo. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery is brought to you by our friends at Authentic Brand. To look and feel my best, I reach for Authentic Brand gear. The style and comfort of Authentic Brand by TCB Companies delivers the boost of confidence to be my best. Same can be said for Bobby Hansen and Ed Podolak. Outfit your life with Authentic Brand gear by TCB Companies, and don't just do it in Authentic Brand. Thanks to Matt and the crew for hosting us again tonight here at the Hyatt Regency in the Edgewater Grill and Bar. Hawkeye basketball is brought to you each season by Iowa Corn throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all fans and athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn and learn how corn grows Iowa. Back to Twitter and Facebook for Coach McCaffery in just a minute on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
When you build Build a network locally engineered for the home team. You know how important a strong connection is on game day, so you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, The Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
We're heading down the home stretch on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency. We're inside the Edgewater Grill and Bar in the Hyatt Regency. Thanks so much for tuning in on the Hawkeye Radio Network tonight. If you'd like to join us and ask Coach a question, do it on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks or on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Bobby and I were having a little fun in the pregame show yesterday, Coach, talking about the Murray twins, and I'm old enough to remember the Van Arsdale twins and how great Tom and Dick were, not only at Indiana but in the pros. And found Horace and Harvey Grant, the Lopez and Collins twins at Stanford. And first off, I didn't realize that Horace had a twin brother at Clemson, and then the Morris brothers, Marcus and Markeith at Kansas. So it's really a rare treat Iowa basketball fans are getting to see.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw the Morris twins play in high school. I recruited the Lopez twins' older brother, Alex.
Really?
And coached against them when they were at Stanford. I was at Siena. So we went out to Stanford and lost them. They came to Albany. We beat them. Recruited the Collins twins to go to Notre Dame. Remember, the Grant twins. I mean, they were both tremendous players and had excellent, NBA careers. So did the Collins twins. So did, the Lopez twins are still going.
Yeah, Brooke is.
So hopefully those guys can, follow in a similar path, the Murray twins.
Indeed. Bobby, we saw Jason and Jaron Collins when Iowa played Stanford in the championship game of the, I think it was Coaches versus Cancer at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Who was the great All-American shooter at Stanford?
Casey Jacobson. We played them.
Team, yeah.
He's a Fox analyst, so he does some of our games from the studio. Actually, he did some games. He did the games in Vegas a couple years ago and played in the tournament out there. But we played them in the 2001 NCAA tournament when Courtney Eldridge is on my staff. He was our starting point guard. They were ranked number 1 that year.
They had a heck of a team.
Yeah,
they sure did. Bobby, you played with Horace, didn't you?
Played with Horace 1 year in Chicago, and Harvey wasn't around. I think he might have been in Washington, but he was Horace was inseparable with Scottie Pippen. Those two guys were like twins. They went everywhere, did everything together.
The Collins twins were 7-footers. I guess, Fran, just to play off this, who would the Murray twins most remind you of, this four groups?
Well, those guys were all kind of centers.
Mm-hmm.
So not really any of them.
So the Grants were considered post centers?
Power forwards.
Okay.
Yeah. The Collins twins and the Lopez's were centers.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Back to Facebook.
Bright future, though.
Without question. Without question. Chris, I know you talked to him when he came out of the lineup yesterday on the sideline there. You had a good visit with him. He looked frustrated. And any young player like that, coming off a great game, is going to...
The thing about him, he makes a couple mistakes. You got to make sure he doesn't get down. Mm-hmm. But then you also want to make sure you remind him so that he doesn't make, further mistakes. It's all teaching. And I think, it's the way it's presented. He makes a mistake. You don't want to chew his head off. It's like, okay, this is what happened. It's where you needed to be. Because we had a bunch of guys make mistakes yesterday. I mean, that happens in the course of a game. You want to minimize those as best you can. And if they happen early in the game, they don't happen in the middle or at the end part of the game.
And similar teaching moment with Peyton Sanford. I saw, he was in there, got some minutes, and then got beat off the dribble a little bit, and then you taught him a little bit.
As soon as we put him in, he made two great post feeds for layups. And the move he made in the second half when he ripped and drove left, hit that pull-up jumper in the lane was terrific. The two mistakes he made, we were trapping on the sideline out of the press, and he ran up on the guy rather than taking an angle. He knew it right away. And then the other time, it was a cleared side ball screen, and he turned his head, and as soon as he turned his head, the kid went. And it's like, we'll just take him to the ball screen, and we'll switch if we have to, because he's almost 6'8". He can guard whoever's rolling, and the other guy can guard whoever's coming off the screen. So again, you got to be in those situations and figure it out.
Do you anticipate moving down to Peyton's available? We need shots. We need shooters. There he is.
Yeah. He had an unbelievable practice today shooting the ball, so he's going to be terrific. I'm trying to get him and all those guys as many minutes as I can.
Yeah.
And every game is a snowflake. So Keegan gets in foul trouble. Chris goes off. Yesterday, Rabracha was spectacular. Mm-hmm. Patrick was really good. So was Tony Perkins in the first half. I thought was really good. That lineup, Tony, Aaron, Peyton, I thought did really well.
Extended the lead.
They extended the lead big time, and then they got a little tentative. So I put the veteran guys back in to attack the zone. They did a little bit better. It wasn't as good as it should have been, but it was better, and they got us home.
Connie on Facebook says, Coach, I don't have a question. Just wanted to say congrats on getting some on two big wins, of course, and getting some votes in the polls today. National audiences finally realizing we've got a good team. Go Hawks and beat Rutgers. Well, I think national people understand how good Iowa's program is, and I think Iowa was one of the, at least from a national perspective, one of those under the radar teams. Why wouldn't you be losing Garza and Wieskamp and others?
Think about it, Dov. How do you predict in a preseason who's going to be anything anymore?
To your point about the transfer portal, because every roster is different.
I mean, look at Minnesota's team. They lost their coach and their entire team. But we played. I forget what team it was. Portland State, one of Michigan Western. One of those teams had 9 newcomers who were all 23 years old. You look at Iowa State. What they did. You can go to the portal and get and fill your team, and it's worked for Iowa State. It's worked for Minnesota. There are other teams. It's been an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have a choice.
True.
The NCAA has made it free agency. They made that choice. Okay. Well, now this is what we got. So now you got to deal with the ramifications. Some of them are good. Some of them are not. The thing that I always fought was, why was it a negative to have to sit out? I never thought it was a negative. You have an extra year of education. You have an extra year to learn a system, an extra year to lift and grow up. And that comes from experience. I did it.
You did that 1 year, and you enjoyed it.
It was not a negative. It was not a penalty. But now what you do is you enable players to leave when why don't you compete? I'm going to go over here because they promised me this. Well, normally when you get there, that promise is no longer on the table. There's no such thing as a promise.
Not what they said
it was what the guy said to get you to go there. And that's unfortunately what our business is in a lot of cases. You tell people the truth. I always tell a story. I was talking to a kid in a portal, and he asked me whose place he was going to take. I said, I don't know. You have to come in here and try to beat him out. We got other guys. I mean, if you think you're going to go to a school that has 4 players and you're going to be the 5th, I said, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to go to a place that has 13 scholarships, and you got to figure it out. If that answer is not good enough for you, then you go somewhere else.
Yeah, competition indeed. Yeah. We have to take a final break here, and we'll come back and wrap up this week's Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from the Hyatt Regency and the Edgewater Grill and Bar in just a minute on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing, walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
Couple minutes remaining in this week's Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Great to see new Iowa volleyball coach Jim Barnes here with his wife tonight. Coach, welcome. Welcome to Iowa. Welcome to our beautiful balmy weather in January. Today actually was pretty nice, but Coach Barnes, 455 career wins coming over from Tulane University. He's won everywhere he's been, and he's going to fire up that Iowa volleyball program. There's no reason why Iowa shouldn't be winning in the Big Ten with the great high school volleyball we have in this state. Just a couple minutes remaining. Coach McCaffery enjoying a moment with Coach Barnes. He's a winner like you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see him, and obviously anything we can do. I mean, we have a very close relationship. We share the facility. Their offices are right across the hall from each other. So anything at all that we can do for Jim and his staff, we're there. I think their players and our players are their buddies.
Sure.
A lot of them live in the same apartment complex. And
terrific.
So,
well, he's a delightful guy and great family. Coach, we heard from Tom on Twitter. Glad to see Patrick have a good game last night, Fran. I understand he has some family in the stands. Always great to see players get to play in front of family on the road. He wanted to know who was there. Bobby and I were mentioning Margaret, of course, grew up in the St. Paul area, and her folks from that neck of the woods. But was there an extended McCaffery family there yesterday?
Well, we had dinner the night before at Buca de Beppo, and Marg's parents came by, and Marg's mom brought cookies for all the players, and they wanted to visit with Connor and Patrick, obviously. Right. They did not come to the game. They're going to go visit Margaret's sister, who just had a baby in New York. So they're trying to stay from going to big, large gatherings.
Sure.
But Margaret was going to go, because she was going to go to Jack's game on Friday night, and then she was going to drive up. And Jack's game got canceled because of the snowstorm, and he played Saturday, so she stayed here. So she was going to go with a bunch of people, all of her friends. So they didn't make it, but a lot of people that I know that are friends of Margaret's family, and they've been up, that's where Margaret was born and raised in St. Paul, and her dad and mom grew up there as well. So
big family, many activities.
Yeah.
Brian on YouTube chat room. Hi everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching in each and every week. How should the Hawks be attacking zone defenses the rest of the season? Well, you always have a game plan on how to attack any
there's
zone.
a couple. There's really only a few. You can run, typical 1-3-1 attack. You can run overload, ball screen overload. You can run typical motion, and try to get them running around and get them in a situation where a guy's guarding a zone, there's nobody there. So, we've got plenty of stuff, and ultimately you got to make some shots, Dolph.
And young guys learning on the run yesterday. That was a good teaching moment.
What we keep saying is you got to attack it. We got a little tentative. You got to attack it.
Yeah. Coach, final word about Rutgers Wednesday night.
Well, it's going to be a war. I mean, the way they defend, they're going to be physical up in your space, kind of like Indiana in that respect. A veteran club, a lot of talent. Got to rebound the ball, got to defend, got to stay after Harper.
On the road in the Big Ten. Thanks, Fran. We'll see
Appreciate
you
it, guys.
Wednesday. Bobby, thank you as always.
All right, my brother. See you on the plane tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 for the pregame Wednesday, 7:30 for the tip. The Hawks and Rutgers. Thanks to the Hyatt Regency. Give them a call for Valentine's Day, 319-541-0638. We'll be back next week. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.